therefore welcome Professor Emeritus Ayobanjo and Professor Emeritus Omar Oshiru, both chair of literature, a key corporate social responsibility initiative of my company. The Literature Prize is complemented by the Nigerian Prize for Science. Besides the Science and Literature Prizes, the Nigerian NLNG engages its host and contiguous communities and the Nigerian people on many fronts. Amongst our other corporate social responsibility initiatives are the scholarship schemes, which we are expanding to include Nigerians from all over the country. The 500 million naira microcredit scheme, the 98% power availability on Bonny Island, where our plants are located, which we undertake with other oil and gas companies on the island. There is also the supply of LPG cooking gas to the Nigerian market, which has helped to steady the price of cooking gas in the market and ensure security of supply. And our support to the shipping sector through the Marine Academy at Oron and other such initiatives. Majority of people have wondered why Nigeria LNG gives so much support and attention to literature and science, especially through the prizes. To them, I say that we aim to identify and reward excellence in literature and science to promote national development. We believe that no nation can develop without science and technology. It will also be a primitive society that does not have a literature and art culture. Unfortunately, no prizes emerged, no winner emerged for the Science Prize last year, a fact that I find so hard to believe. This country has produced scientists of international repute. They include, to give just 4 random examples, Professor Idris Mohammed, well known for his original work in the development of polyvalent vaccine against meningococcal meningitis in Nigeria. Professor Chike Obi, celebrated for his monumental contribution to modeling with second-order nonlinear differential equations. Professor Adenike Abiose, honored for her ardent commitment to river blindness control at both national and international level. It is therefore indeed sad and very unfortunate that after 50 years of independence and after nurturing frontline scientists who have been able to hold their own in the world, our country seems to be sliding backward. For the 3rd time in 8 years of the life of the Nigerian Prize for Science, the science community has been unable to produce a winner. Needless to say, you cannot build a strong economy anywhere in the world today without science and, of course, technology. In spite of this bleak picture, we remain encouraged by the fact that we were able to get a winner for the Literature Prize last year. For just as we need science to grow, so do we also need a strong literary culture. Literature gives credibility to personal perceptions, feelings, and dreams. It alone explores the fine texture and full meaning of human experience, with all its subtleties and nuances, and either jars us into wakefulness or leads us to insight and rich reflection, and of course, wisdom. It gives us the understanding, empathy, and capacity to truly feel without grinding to a halt. It humanizes us. Hence, Professor Thomas E. Baden of the University of Toledo advised, We should read literature and study it and take it seriously because it enriches us as human beings. We develop our moral imaginations, our capacity to sympathize with other people, and our ability to understand our existence through the experience of fiction. This is precisely why we as a nation should pay attention to literature. We need to read more in order to expand our horizon, broaden our vision, and deepen our hearts. The crushing poverty of a lot of the populace has led to soul numbing, complacence, and insensitivity. Perhaps literature will help to remind us of the things that really matter: integrity, love, care, contentment, grace, and gratitude. C.S. Lewis, the British scholar and novelist, puts it thus: literature adds to reality. It does not simply describe it. It enriches the necessary competencies and the daily life requires and provides. And in this respect, it irrigates the desert that our lives have already become. By sponsoring the Nigerian Prize for Literature, therefore, it is our fervent hope that a lot more Nigerians will take to reading a lot more, that they may find the inner strength and the wisdom to cope with life in these tough times. That alone, if nothing else, justifies our being here today to celebrate three worthy writers: Chinyere Obi Obasi and Ayodele Olofintuade. The authors of The Great Fall and Eno's Story, respectively. They made it from a long list of 126 writers to the final shortlist of 3. And of course, to Adeleke Adeyemi, the winner of the 2011 edition. The winner of the 2011 edition of the Nigerian Prize for Literature, who writes under the pen name of May Nasara. Adeleke Adeyemi's winning entry is titled The Missing Clock. In writing the Nigerian Prize for Literature, winning the Nigerian Prize for Literature, Adeleke joins the fast-growing exclusive list of Nigerian laureates. 7 writers thus far who have earlier won the Literature Prize: late Ezenwa Ohaito and Gabriel Okara in 2005, Ahmed Yerima in 2006, Akachi Adimora Ezeigo and Mabel Shedo in 2007, Kane Agari in 2008, and the late Esiaba Irobi in 2010. Winning the prize could not have been easy. Adeleke had to contend with 125 other writers who submitted entries for the competition. In the word of the panel of judges, May Nasara is a gifted storyteller. The judges described his award-winning book, The Missing Clock, as a lovable and credible novel that meets the basic requirement of art for excellence in children's literature, and have praised the book for celebrating ingenuity, hard work, creativity, and self-reliance, qualities that the Nigerian child needs to grow into a well-rounded adult, ready to contribute meaningfully to the Nigerian project. Perhaps as intriguing, exciting, and educative, especially for the young ones with us today, is Adeleke's story. As if to give credence to her support for both science and literature, Adeleke bestrides the twin walls. He's a novelist and science journalist who dropped out of biochemistry before earning a degree in geology. And like the Nobel laureate here, I dare say, Adeleke has also ventured into songwriting, especially as a tool for effecting change in the society. As we today celebrate Adeleke Adeyemi, may we never cease to remind ourselves that good literature is also necessary for our growth as a nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time for me to take the back seat so that Adeleke Adeyemi, whose day today is, and those whose business literature is, will take the central stage. Thank you very much.
Now that the managing director has spoken, and before I get to his seat, let me lay before you my own personal agros. In the promise not to remember the rascality that I was engaged in when I was in UI, when I was the Vice Chancellor of University of Ibadan. Thank you for having me.
The Managing Director of Nigeria NLNG, Mr. Babsama. The Literature Prize for Literature, as you know, and as we've just been reminded, was established by the Nigeria NLNG to support and encourage the writing and publishing of literature in the country, and to motivate young people so gifted to exploit their talents. The other prize instituted by the Nigeria NLNG is the Nigeria Prize for Science, and I see the Nigeria NLNG as if their intervention in both respects as a highly commendable effort to boost creativity in the country. Whether we talk of innovation or reinvention in science, or the production of highly acclaimed literary work, we are thinking of the special use of the imagination. By encouraging the blossoming of the use of the imagination in those who are specially gifted in society, Nigeria NLNG is in fact performing a highly desirable role of ultimately trying to raise the Nigerian society as a whole from a mere prosaic and pedestrian level to the enlightened one, in which citizens, even routinely, apply creative imagination and the intellect to all their daily tasks. That is the only way in which a nation can develop, by first of all developing the people who will then go on to develop the economy and the environment. The Literature Prize has been run on a 4-yearly cycle, in which within each cycle, a different genre of literature is focused upon in the chronological order of fiction, poetry, drama, and children's literature. Last year, 2011, another cycle closed with the competition for children's literature. A panel of jury was set up, chaired by Professor Akachi Ezego of the University of Lagos. And other members of the jury, as you've just been told, were Professor David Carr, Professor Yakubu Nasidi, Professor Leon Oyegoke, and Professor Ine Obong Kuko. The jury received over 100 entries, most of which, sad to say, were of poor quality. The members of the jury were able to agree unanimously a short list of 3 outstanding entries as follows in order of excellence: The Missing Clock by Ms. Nasara, Enos Clock by Odele Olofin Frade, the great fall by Chinyere Obiobasi. We are here this morning to make the award to my Nasara. I will shortly be listening to a short address by him. Runner-up is Chinyere Vivian Obiobasi. And the first runner-up,
under whose tenure the prize rose from 50,000 to 100,000. Now I started writing, sir. But I know it's going to 150, sir. Okay, sir.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, may I use the winner of the 2011 Literature Prize, Mai Nasara, to give you this document. I'd like to invite the MD, Madam Samotoa, to make the presentation to him.
Now, a brief remark by Minasara.
I would like to take my cue from the MD, standing on previous protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A certain 18th century English poet rose up one day and penned the following words: "Hope springs eternal in the human breast." I'm not sure what Alexander Pope was thinking about that particular day, but I know he was right about the human heart and its penchant for hope. It was sheer hope that drove me to enter my first published work for the Nigeria Prize for Literature. If I learned nothing else from this experience, I have learned that hope drives us towards success even beyond our imagination. I dared hope to make the shortlist. I won the prize. Today, I dare to hope again. This time, it is my hope that by the end of this event and long after, the one thing that will mostly be on our minds and lips will be libraries. Yes, libraries. But before I take off about libraries, I would like to thank the panel of judges for finding the missing clock worthy of honor. Similarly, I salute Nigeria LNG Limited for their no-holds-barred sponsorship of the Nigeria Prize for Literature, along with its twin, the Nigeria Prize for Science. Ladies and gentlemen, my life has been much enriched by literature in many respects. From my father, who is here with us in the audience today, and others like Benjamin Franklin, whom I encountered in art and science, I learned that good parents, teachers, and role models take special pride in knowledge and do everything to contribute to the education of the young. Now back to libraries. In a civilized society, the public library is the visible face of government. As John N. Berry III so rightly observed, the public library is an excellent model of government at its best. A locally controlled public good, it serves every individual freely, in as much or as little debt as he or she wants. Books do change people. Wonder of wonders. They have been known to change society at large. We will never grow a civilized or responsible citizenry without the book. It is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. There will never be justification to banish the book, for only with it can we frustrate the fanatic with his faithful folly. Community libraries lie at the bedrock of American greatness. A reality I have seen in the public library in the county where I have lived for some time now. I have roamed its length and breadth and depth. Yes, it has a basement floor brimming with children's books for various grades. My wife would later summarize my first trip there to colleagues at work, who probably all their lives have taken the library for granted. In these words, my husband was just like a boy in a candy store. It was at this library that I finally got hold of Chinua Achebe's How the Leopard Got Its Claws, a boon of a book for children and adults alike that perfectly illustrates the 200-year-old truism by French nobleman Joseph de Maistre. Every country has the government it deserves. This line was written on August 15, 1811. It is often quoted anonymously as people get the leadership they deserve. I agree there's a decline in reading culture, but can we truly say the books are available for our kids even if they wanted to read? Why can't we have modern libraries in our schools or public areas? I asked that last question once and someone said, but who can fund such projects? Mo Ibrahim, I spotted before realizing many were listening for my answer. The Dr. Ibrahim's Foundation, there's a bit on it here that it's in a program of the day that we can go back and look at. It's in many respects, it's like the NLNG sponsored or Nigerian prizes. There's no winner, no guaranteed winner every year. It is my conviction that Dr. Ibrahim's Foundation would even better promote leadership, development, and democracy in Africa by paying heed to Mahatma Mohandas Gandhi's prescription. If we are to teach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, we shall have to begin with the children. The dividends of development will be more visible if Dr. Ibrahim, for instance, redirects his attention and mammoth resources to endowing a network of public libraries, like the American Andrew Carnegie, customized to helping our children play catch-up with their peers around the world. I make bold to say to you today that there is no other way to go forward. Our children, especially girls, must gain unfettered access to books and the stories in them because the person's thinking skills, the conceptualization of ideas and their expressions are heavily dependent on what they have read and what they read and learn. Richard Crabb, former chairman of African Publishers Network, said, "If education is the road out of poverty, books are the wheels needed for the journey." My wife may not agree that sartorially I'm well suited for today's occasion. But if not, then my choice apparel is a visual aid for the point of the day. The garment, as many of you know, is a kaftan, but less known is the icing on the cake. Well, in a manner of speaking, I'm talking about my cap. Curiously, the cap is called Mohadubanki. That's Hausa for let's meet at the bank. The origin of such a designation for a mere cap, I'm afraid you shall have to find out for yourself in a library. While you should not bank on this cap or any, to get, for that matter, to get money from the bank, I'm capitalizing on it to help you get the picture. I have directions for you. Meet me at the library, Mohado Library. But don't show up without children. On such children alone, who have unfettered access to books, we must bank to build the Nigeria of our dreams. Like a fitting cap, I hope this is, that will be our crowning achievement. And our generation, or well, the one before, and maybe this as well, getting into that rut, would not have been wasted. If truly we want a better Nigeria, it can happen even in our lifetimes. But we must start now. At the library. I'll be waiting. See you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nasara. And this is Nasara. This is Adeyemi. Thank you very much. We actually flew in from the US yesterday, just for this occasion. Thank you. I'm asked to call on stage. You didn't even know that your parents are here. Nasara, we're very sorry. The parents of Adeleke Adeyemi. I'm sure the Minasara is something you Then while we're talking, you can come on stage. Daddy and mommy. Adeleke Adeyemi's daddy and mother-in-law. While we're talking, join us on stage are the two runner-up, Ayolofitu Ade and Chinyere Obasi, and then Dr. Jerry Agada. Now we're going to move here because they have been complained by the journalists and photographer that they couldn't get photo shoots. So we're going to come here first, but Shoyinka is going to present the book. So you can just move here, around Adeyemi, yes, you just stand there. So we can come around him for the photo, because they said they couldn't take the photo because of the podium. And then Professor Shoyinka will do the presentation. The wife too, Ms. Adeyemi.
Is that correct? Is that correct? What a pity. I thought you would give me the check. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great pleasure to be here. And for me in particular, to see and to honor somebody who succeeded in doing what I've never succeeded in doing. But my publisher, late Rex Collins, used to tell me, you know, what we need to do is write a children's book. Everybody wants children's book. You will sell masses and masses and you can retire comfortably. I have to tell you that I tried to write a children's book. I never succeeded. I was toiling. I had a feeling that I failed to enter into the child's part. So it's really wonderful and I really enjoy it. Who shall I give it to? This symbolic one. Shall I give it to Madam Pierre? Congratulations. Right, that's done.
For photo officer, just to raise the book by our professors and fathers. Just to raise the book for photo, that we endorse the book. Since it's the book that won. Everybody please. We already talked up for endorsement. And please, everybody here, make sure you get a copy as you're stepping out of the hall, especially the students, okay? And our parents. You know why we call Adeyemi's parents there? For parents who don't encourage their children to read, them to read, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's going to be the other words too later. Foundation and body of Nigerians. Thank you very much, NLNG.
Thank you very much. It's very important to you. Thank you very much. There's a special request that after the next speaker I'm going to call, and since I'm not the one making it, so I'm free. I'll just call him. Kelly College in Kenya. Forgot to mention them, they were here early. I'm so sorry. Doing College, Neki, you're welcome. LNG. Why is it that the money was rising? Right. So just want to ask you, what has been your experience? Just in 2 sentences. I'll bring the mic to you, sir.
I think it's on record that I have said that should invest as much as it can in creating culture and in developing scientific capacity in Nigeria. When all is said and done, it is this history, our version of the world view, and believe and continue from where we start. Why the increase in price, value? Just to make sure that the best Nigerians are interested in this.
Invite Professor Wole Soyinka to have an engagement with the students. I'd like to quickly recognize the presence of the Christ on stage. I could bring a sister.
See, I knew it was his idea.
If there is any kind of forum or a camp where children are allowed.
Council, and some writers were brought in to interact with the